Another edition of NASCAR DFS Preview. I'm AustYn with the Sports Chief, and we are going to part 2 of the Drydene 311 of this weekend. So, as you all know, Denny Hamlin actually came away with the win today. Was pretty dominant. In terms of points, he got 100 and something, 106, 100 plus anyway. We didn't do that well in our lineup just because Eric Almirola kind of slid towards the back. So did Christopher Bell. John Hunter Nemechek did okay, but we didn't have any of the dominators really. We had Martin Truex Jr. and he led a few laps there. Aside from that, though, we didn't have the two. So it looked like you had to have two of the top guys in your lineup to be successful. Unfortunately, we did have a little more of aggressive strategy, so it didn't work out quite as well as we had hoped. But anyway, we're going back at it at part 2. Really, this video is going to be a lot shorter probably, may not be as informative. I'll go over a little bit of the basic stats, but, you know, it's going to be pretty similar, basically. So let's just go ahead and check it out and see what DraftKings has to offer for us. So let me scroll up to the top here. All right. So Kevin Harvick starting in 17th is our most expensive driver. He's at 11.7. Martin Truex Jr. starting in 19th at 11.3. Chase Elliott 10.9 starting in 16th. Denny Hamlin starting in 20th, 10.6. Brad Keselowski starting in 12th at 10.4. And Kyle Busch at 10,000 starting in 18th. So we have 6 drivers again. And it's, you know, the way they did the qualifying here was the top 20 were inverted. So 20th starts on the pole. From the 20th place finisher from the first race starts on the pole. The winner of the race, of course, is going to be 20th there. So, anyway, so looking at that there, that's going to be your lineup for your 6 guys. And to me, this is the strategy that probably a lot of people are going to go with, but I'm going to pick the guys starting in 19th and 20th. So I'm going to go Martin Truex again. I'm going to go Denny Hamlin. Now, there are a few ways that you can work out those strategies there, but these are the 2 that I'm going with. You can be a little risky and go with Kyle Busch. He looked pretty fast. Chase Elliott had like 40-some fastest laps, so he's a good option too, and starting in 16th. It's not like you can kill yourself in that lineup there. You're going to have to go cheap guys no matter what. You're going to pick one driver who's fairly cheap and hope that he comes out with a decent finish. Or you pick a dominator who will lead most of the laps, and I think Denny Hamlin will probably be that driver. Martin Truex could be the other one. Harvick looked okay fast. Brad Keselowski was kind of just hanging around the top 10, as was like Logano. Blaney really wasn't a contender at all. Jimmy Johnson looked pretty good. But anyway, we got $7,000 to spend there. We picked our 2 guys. Let's scroll on down here. So one guy that will be picked pretty heavily, or the 2 drivers, is Kurt Busch and Bowman. Now, I'd have to double check on Kurt, but I'm pretty sure he finished 40th, so I don't know why he's starting at 28. I'll have to figure that one out there. But I'm definitely going Kurt Busch. He's a top 10 finishing machine. I love him in that spot, and he can give us a lot of positive placement there. And my second driver will be William Byron starting in 23rd. Now, you're looking at that, and you're thinking, man, he's only got $6,000. Pretty low. So anyway, we're going to go with that there. If you're looking at these other drivers here, I mean, Jimmy Johnson's a good option. He's starting in 14th. Joe Logano's a decent option, but, you know, they really have to lead a lot of laps, and I just don't see it happening. Bowman would be a good sub for maybe Kurt, but he's a little more expensive, so that hurts us in our strategy here. And William Byron and Michael McDowell are kind of at the same price points, $200 difference. William Byron's still the better option. Clint Boyer's a really good option in 15th. He's probably a top 5 finisher. He finished 5th, so he'll probably be around there again. Cole Custer would be a good option. Austin Dillon looked pretty fast. Ricky Stenhouse did too. But these guys are starting really high, and you have to think they have to finish in those spots, and I'm not as confident that they will. Christopher Bell's not a bad option in 24th, but he looked like he was hanging around the 20s. DiBenedetto would be a big-time tournament option. If you think DiBenedetto could lead close to 100 laps, he would be your guy. He's starting on the pole. I just don't know if he'll hang on to it. We'll see. Ryan Newman starting in 2nd. Hey, he'll be hard to pass, but I don't think he'll end up finishing 1st or 2nd. So Tyler Reddick starting in 8th is okay. Probably will end up finishing in the 15th spot or so. Matt Kenseth, he's around 22nd. He looked okay there for a little bit, but my opinion on picking the 42 car there. So I just feel like there's 3 drivers here that I would consider, and that would be LaJoie, Preece, or Nemechek. And if I go LaJoie, I have the option of getting Ryan Newman and Reddick. I could get Kenseth, but is Kenseth really worth it? Don't know. I could go Preece, and I could still get the same kind of options there. So, you're not losing anything. I think Ryan Preece's car is a little faster. He's in the JTG Daugherty Racing engine. They actually have the Hendrick program, pretty sure. Secondary, anyway. So Ricky Stenhouse looked pretty fast, so I think Preece has the ability to finish well. So I'm going with Ryan Preece, hoping he gets me a top 20. That's what I'm looking for. I feel pretty confident that Byron and Busch will give me a top 20. So Preece is more or less a throwaway pick. But then I'm also going with John Hunter Nemechek. I really believe in his talent. He's really good at Dover. Like I had mentioned earlier, he's really good in the Xfinity Series here. He did finish 24th, which is okay. So, that's just not a bad option. I think your top 4 here are just really high-value players. So, let's just go ahead and clear it out and show you what I'm going with. Another lineup that I had toyed with, I was actually going to go Denny Hamlin. Let me see here. Yeah, I was going to put Bowman and Busch on one, which Bowman is pretty good here, so that's not bad. Then I was going to go William Byron as well, and I think I was going to go Preece. Yeah, Preece, and I had 9,200, and I went with Jimmy, so that's not a bad option. I just think you have to have guys that will lead laps, and Truex and Hamlin are my drivers. So Truex, Hamlin, I think they're just too fast. I don't think the track's going to change that much, and they've unloaded pretty quick. Kurt Busch. So Martin Truex at 11.3. Let me go ahead and say it out here. Denny Hamlin at 10.6. Kurt Busch at 8.3. William Byron at 7.7. John Hunter Nemechek at 6.1. And rounding out our lineup will be Ryan Preece starting in 29th. So there you have it, folks. This is my option for the Drydene 311 Part 2. So, hope that was a little bit of help. I think you're really going to play with the numbers. You have to know exactly the value of the drivers. And to me, Denny Hamlin and Martin Truex, no matter where they're priced, they're probably going to be the highest 2 drivers again. William Byron and Kurt Busch. Kurt Busch could end up getting a top 5, and that's 20-some points plus 30, high 30s. So, he could get in the 50s. William Byron could get a top 10. You're looking at 40s with him. And if Preece and Nemechek can get top 25s, that would be great. So it's going to be really weird. A lot of slower cars are going to be up towards the front. We did pretty well in the second parter, if that's a word, picking Kevin Harvick there, and they were at Michigan. So that worked out for us. I think that it's going to work out again with Denny Hamlin. He would probably be my option to win. He looked way too fast. The only other driver I would really consider in that top tier would be Chase Elliott. Kyle Busch I toyed with. I just don't know if Kyle will go out there and dominate. I'll have to wait and see. So anyway, there you have it. If you like what you see here, like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Hit the bell notification. That way you know when we have our videos go live. Follow us on Twitter at TheSportsChief. We touch on a little bit of everything sports related, even though it's been a little slow here. Hopefully things will continue to ramp up. We're ready. We're definitely ready for it. So best of luck to y'all, and hopefully you have a successful part 2 of the Drydene 311. Excuse me. There we go.